Hey guys, welcome to episode number 224. Today is Monday, so it's Update Monday, and I thought I'd give you guys an update on the Fishroom. I know it's been a very long time, but I was in the process of moving. It did end up taking pretty much the entire month of January, so that's why I've been gone for so long. But as you can see, I'm down here in the unfinished portion of the basement, and there's stuff all over the place. But this will eventually be the new fish room, as you know. And what I have set up here is kind of temporary, but it should look very familiar. This was essentially what I had set up in the old apartment, and now it's in the basement of the house. It's set up temporarily because I will be constructing a new racking system, and I will be picking up more aquariums, and I will be turning the better part of this room into a fish room. So definitely stay tuned for those videos. That's probably going to happen over the next 6 to 8 months, I would imagine. I'm sure within a year everything will be completely up and running, and this will just be a distant memory. But for right now, this is where I'm starting. As you can see, I've got my 4 40-gallon tanks set up. They're only about halfway full, maybe a little bit more. And the reason is, you can see I've got the bulkheads still in, but there's nothing connected to them. So I don't have my central plumbing and my central filtration hooked up on these tanks yet. But all of the fish made it, or at least most of the fish made it, and they're pretty happy, so I'm glad of that. But as you guys know, moving is not a whole lot of fun, and moving in the winter is doubly not as fun. And moving a fish room in the winter is pretty much the worst experience imaginable. It's a lot of work, and it's very stressful. As you can imagine, with fish this small, your water is going to cool off very quickly. And essentially what I had to do was move one of these tanks at a time in my car. So what I did was I broke down one tank at a time, siphoned it all the way down, put the fish in some buckets. I had like 3 or 4 buckets full for each of these tanks. So I saved about half of the water, and I packed that up. I drove it. It's like an hour round trip from the apartment to the house here, and then I've got the bulkhead over there, and I just rushed everything down the stairs, set everything back up one at a time, and that was basically a marathon weekend, and it wasn't a whole lot of fun, and I am glad it's over. And from now on it will just be kind of easy going here, because I can just kind of go at my own pace. But I will say this, guys, good planning is going to make your life a heck of a lot easier if you ever have to do something similar. But also, Prime is definitely your friend. I can't say enough good things about Seachem Prime. It is probably the only reason that all of my fish made it as long as they did. Because I did take my central filtration system down. I lost basically all of my bacteria colonies along the way. Here's my sump tank right here, 100-gallon sump tank. It's still dry, it's not set up yet, and I'm not quite sure if I will be setting it back up. There's a kind of a table workbench here in the way at the moment. I might at some point put the 100-gallon stock tank here and reattach my plumbing just temporarily, but I'm not quite sure how much money I should invest in setting this back up, because essentially I will be tearing this back down to put in my aquarium racks. And I'll have more information on the aquarium racks and kind of my plans on Wednesday, DIY Wednesday. Planning to talk quite a bit about that. I'm on probably the 20th or 30th iteration of the fish room and the racking system. I'm putting a lot of thought into it because I'm going to build it once, and I'm hoping that it will be something that I'll be satisfied with, and that I'll do right so that I won't have to redo it. I hate watching and looking at you know, fish rooms that clearly were added onto time and time again, you know, just kind of thrown together. Tanks that kind of don't match, tanks that are various sizes and shapes, wasted space, you know, racks that weren't built for the tanks or tanks that weren't built for the racks. It just kind of bugs me. I do like consistency. That's kind of why I do have you know, the 4 40-gallon breeders here, and they all are on similar stands. And this is the 20-gallon that I decided to set back up, and that's on the original 20-gallon stand. But all of that will be going away in favor of a central racking system at some point in the near future. I'm looking into linear air pumps, looking into air blowers potentially to power some of this. I'm looking to potentially use the 125-gallon tank here, which still needs to be scraped out and cleaned out. You'll see I've got about half of the silicone off from there. I'm gonna clean this up. It's a long time coming, but that was the turtle tank, and as you can see over here, there are remnants from the stand and canopy. I broke those down. I really have no use for those in the immediate future, and they're just taking up way too much space. They're way too heavy, so I decided to break those down, unfortunately. But I am potentially planning on using this as a sump tank. It is 6 feet long, 125 gallons, and I could put several stages of filtration and quite a bit of media in a tank like this. That's one option. I've also thought about using either 50-gallon, 100-gallon, or 150-gallon stock tanks. One of those as a central sump. And I've also thought about using the 55-gallon food grade barrels as well. So I'm not quite sure what angle I'm going to take there, but the fish definitely did make it. All the plecos made it as well. You can finally see my pair of betas here that I got a while back. They're in separate tanks for right now, male and a female. Kind of fun. Maybe I'll do something with those at a later point. I do have crayfish down here. This tank is embarrassing. It's basically a cesspool with marbled crayfish in it right now, but I've got to clean that up, swap the water out, and maybe separate those crayfish. But as you can see, everything was just kind of hastily thrown together here in the basement just because you know, I needed to get everything over here before the end of the month. So everything's in, all of the stress is gone, I'm happy, everyone's healthy, and this is the beginning of a lot of really cool and great things. So thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you guys later.